Hello everybody, I made this video to help people properly prepare for Season 3 for the West coming around September based on the roadmap. This includes my regrets and ideas to give people reference points to plan out their strategy early. Remember that the West server operates differently and the market is different, so make sure to do your own research as well. Let's go over advanced honing and character improvement. The game may have a patch after this video, but eye level 1680 is the new field boss and you need to be 1680 eye level to be able to receive ancient accessories. These are really expensive right now for potential overspenders who spend for arc passive builds early. We currently have this problem where we lack DPS to kill field bosses. So there's a situation where a bunch of people who are under eye level throw fire grenades and try to stay outside to aggro the boss to potentially reset it. So people made separate group chats to organize 1680 plus parties to kill the field boss. So it's like Moake 2.0, and I don't know why Smilegate never learns from their mistakes, but this is probably going to be changed. Therefore, there are three potential paths: 1680, 1660 plus, and under 1660. If your goal is 1680 or higher right after the season changes, you must have all the advanced honing finished first. This is for existing veterans who have a lot of T3 materials as bound. The latest raid Aegir eye level is not released yet, but it's highly likely it won't pass 1680. So the value is running the latest dailies and potential huge loot at the field bosses for relic books and ancient accessories. This eye level is pretty much impossible for the brand new players that are starting even now after this video, but the value you get out of it reaching here early is not that critical. If your goal is 1660 plus, this is for people who have a decent amount of bound materials, but cannot quite get enough to finish all your advanced hones. As for bound match priority, always set your strategy based on shards. If you feel you're running out of shards, focus on unlocking 10 to 20 advanced honing first, then upgrade. Don't be like me and forget to unlock advanced honing, because if you transfer the gear to T4, the unlock itself costs T4 shards. Getting 4 pieces total to plus 20 advanced hone, then transferring them will help you reach to 1660 with 2 T3 gears at plus 10 advanced honing. The idea is to not transfer the T3 gears on purpose to work on advanced hones at the same time with your T4 gear honing. Personally, I think this is probably the best way to plan things out. You won't be able to get ancient accessories from field bosses, but you'll be able to run the highest dailies and have an easier time killing the Guardian, and you'll be much more powerful. Since life skills will provide you options to craft T3 and T4 materials as time goes, this is by far the cheapest method to work towards 1680 plus. The next video is going to cover life skills as well. I am finishing up some numbers right now. If you're interested, stay notified to not miss it. Ultimately, you're advanced honing all parts to plus 20 as cheaply as you can, and this is through making fusion materials yourself through stronghold crafting. It is very critical to use bound materials only during this process. Using an auction house for any other materials than mats related to fusion materials is always not worth it. To make it clear, this video is not telling you to buy mats from the auction house to push for certain eye levels. So here's the order of priority for progression. 1. Always advance hone weapon to plus 20 first. 2. Then all armors at plus 10 advanced hone. 3. Unlock all 10 to 20 advanced honing first. 4. Try to get 4 pieces to plus 20, then transfer over that gear. Advance hone your gear to plus 20 before any additional transfers. Remember to work at 1 piece at a time. This kind of method is possible because there are really no other benefits than eye level for now, since arc passive is impossible to use at this moment. You will have a slight stat difference, but it isn't really critical. The third goal is under 1660 eye level. This is for returning and newer players and potential alt characters for veterans. It is still kind of early to determine the actual differences between 1660 Chaos Dungeon and 1640 Chaos Dungeon. I don't have enough data points, but after doing it a couple of days, map differences are not that much. Gems are maybe 1 or 2 differences, but shards can be different as low as the same amount to 10k plus. I'm assuming this was from the unluckiest reward of 1660 versus the luckiest reward for 1640. Either way, looking at this, it is actually not worth spending millions to get to 1660, but this is the same case for this game for a while. But 1640 brings value to stack up on T4 shards as early as possible. Therefore, if your parking alts are for newer players and returning players, it is advisable to actually just get 1640 as fast as possible. Then work on elixirs and transcendence, because by the time you're done with the elixirs and transcendence, the material prices will not be as volatile and be able to progress further to higher eye levels. Plus 20 advanced hone is difficult, since it requires you to be 1630 with decent transcendence and elixirs for kinda hard. Even unlocking the 10 to 20 might be hard. However, plus 10 advanced hone is realistic and affordable. At least try to work on those, then transfer to T4. Work your eye level through transferring and advanced hones to achieve 1640, leaving the T4 transfers as last resort. Don't hesitate to transfer the plus 10 advanced hone gear to T4 to add plus 20 eye levels on that gear. So it works exactly like the 1660 1650 eye level goal. If you are 1620 without advanced honing, having 4 pieces with plus 10 advanced hone T4 gears, you can be 1640 with 2 T3 gears at 1620. Here's the order of priority for progression. 1. Always advanced hone weapon plus 10 first. 2. Unlock all 0 to 10 advanced honing. 3. Try to reach item level 1640 by working piece by piece for plus 10 advanced hones and T4 transfers. Another tip for this particular goal is to not transfer weapon on purpose, to work on advanced honing on your weapon during 1640, since weapon is much more expensive in cost. The damage is going to be a little lower, but it's not significant where you won't be clearing content. The boosts from Transcendence and Elixirs are much higher than your weapon not being in T4. This is always based on your characters. Can it unlock plus 20 advanced hone? Can it reach plus 20 advanced hone? And it also really depends how much bound materials that character has. It's very important to do your own research and figure out your strategy. There are honing calculators to figure out potential costs based on your market. I'm not a type that uses calculators for this, but just remember the important parts. Try to reach 1640 or 1660 with the least amount of T4 transfers. That way, you'll be able to be in T4 while experiencing T3 content to actually increase T3 gears at the same time. Here are some additional tips other than advanced honing. Remember to be diligent in silver gathering. I've spent more than 90 million silver in the course of 1 week. This is because of new gems, unlocking advanced hone, and advanced hone itself. If you have a low pan character lying around with a rested meter, make sure to set it up and not waste silver even if you have millions. Those of you who are wondering about gems, like I said in my last video, all cooldowns are worth the transfer, up to level 9 damage gems are worth the transfer, but level 10 damage gem is worth the transfer if that particular skill has less than 24% of your damage pie. So with this information, you can actually sell your level 10 damage gem right now and utilize 9s to transfer over later, or just leave most of your characters as is. I don't think I'll quite recommend buying level 10 damage gems, but it could be different per market. Stock up on cube tickets. This is something I regret doing. It takes about 180 cube tickets to reach combat level 70. Being combat level 70 is a huge power boost to your character. I actually don't have that many cube tickets, nor spend bloodstones every week to trade them for potential new ones. I've never bought them in the cash shop either. If I would go back, I would not run cubes at all and stock up on the tickets to at least get me the grinding option to get my character to a higher combat level. Because getting your main to higher combat level will let you also use the stronghold to help other characters to gain experience much faster from 60 to 70. I cannot do that because all my characters are progressing pretty much the same right now. When you go to Season 3, change your Una quests on shards. The 3 recommended ones are in Fleche, Voldis, and Algacia, since West does not have Anniversary Islands yet. There are shard Unas in Curzon as well that are pretty quick too. Make sure you unlock those Unas if you don't. Make sure to read engraving books when they're cheap. You don't need to rush on reading legendary engraving books for now, because you won't be able to switch to the new Arc passive system for a while. However, when prices go down when the interest gets lower, it is important to snatch some of them for cheap if you can. Also, this is obvious, but during events, they do give you legendary engraving select boxes. Keep them unopened until you actually swap to the new Arc passive system. Lastly, remember I've mentioned before, market is different and players are different. Since the West know this situation in Korea already, there may be a chance more people plan to stock up on fusion materials to batch sell them at Season 3 release, making it cheaper due to higher in supply. And people may FOMO already to advance hone right now to make fusion materials spike too. Therefore, from this video, since you know the pathing, always make sure to focus on using bound mats, refrain from using the auction house to finish your advanced hones, craft your own fusion materials, and think potentially selling to people who are FOMOing, or you can advance hone yourself at any time. Because people may FOMO earlier than our Korean server. Just remember to get rid of your bound mats to advance hones before season change. With that, I will end the video here. Next video I'll talk about life skills. I've done the research and I'll probably upload it whenever I can. Long story short, make sure you're diligent and burn your life energy whenever you can. It can go a very long way. Thanks guys, bye bye.